From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Today is a great day, and it's an even better day now that Mr. Daniel Kirk is with us. Yay!
Celebrated writer and illustrator, Daniel Kirk brings to life the joys of reading, writing, and sharing in the second Library Mouse adventure. One night in the library, Sam meets fellow mouse Sarah. Sam learns that Sarah is quite the explorer.
She loves to scurry to the top of shelves and explore the darkest corners of the building. Sam never climbs far up. He's too afraid. He prefers to research subjects such as exploration and write about them.
Sarah doesn't know much about writing or research, but could reading and research help her learn more about the places she wishes to visit?
You know what? I think this sounds like a story where teamwork comes into play. A lot of times, do you know who uses a whole lot of teamwork? Choo-choo soul. We do. We're a big team. All right. We want to let you know that our friend, is he ready to go?
Not just yet.
My guitar's not ready. I don't think my voice is on either.
Oh, I don't.
No, I
do
don't
you
think
hear
so.
his voice out there?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, dear. Check, check, check. Well, we can always fill some time.
That's a good idea.
This is kind of like double dutch. DC and I used to do this back in San Francisco. We would just freestyle any old song that came to mind. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dreams, no regrets.
You gonna try to plug a regular mic in?
Did you hear his voice?
Is that you?
Oh, did they hear me out there?
He's
Hey!
Yay!
But I don't want to interrupt that lovely song.
Oh
so
my goodness gracious. Well, you
keep
know,
going,
Choo Choo
please.
Soul, we have new videos coming out on Disney Junior, and we actually get to do that song and many other Disney classics, which is such a blessing to us. But enough about us. We want to introduce...
No, wait. Can you hear the guitar too yet? No guitar?
No guitar.
We got a thumb down and a guitar.
Okay. Yeah,
Let's
it's all the
keep
way up.
going. Okay,
Yep.
would anyone like to say their name on the microphone? Oh, yeah?
You gotta
All right.
like to make up songs, and I knew I was coming down for this special conference, and I thought, wouldn't it be great if I wrote a song about reading? So I wrote it, and it's not even quite finished yet, so I'm not sure I'm going to remember all the words. What?
Get your voice in the monitor.
My voice is not in the monitor?
Do you hear it okay?
Yeah, I hear it okay.
All right.
But don't go away. Don't go
Oh,
away.
we're not going to go
We're
away.
not going
All
away.
right. We'll
Okay.
back you up, Daniel.
So this is the first time I've ever played the song for anybody before, and it has a little bit of audience participation in it, and all you have to do is repeat when I go, in a book, and then you go, in a book. I go, in a book, and you go, in a book. And it goes like this. So you show me how it's done. In a book.
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 Gonna take a trip today. Though I'm setting my sights far away, I'm not going anywhere. Just sitting in a chair, reading a book. It's funny how it happens this way. I forget it's just a story, and I think the adventure is mine. It happens every time I read a book. And what a great adventure, licking your imagination, going someplace completely new. A book of magic potion that'll set your mind in motion. If I'm lucky, I might meet a mighty dragon or two or three or four in a book.
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 In a book. I'm gonna take a trip today. In a book I'll travel far away to a place I've never been. That's how it begins when I read a book.
I'm in a book.
I can hunt for aliens in space, or be a cool detective solving a case. There'll be good friends to meet and bad guys to beat when I read a book. And if I get the notion, fighting pirates on the ocean, I can take an awesome journey, it's true. A book's a magic potion that'll set your mind in motion. If I'm lucky, I might meet a mighty dragon or two, or three, or four in a book.
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 In a book. In a book.
In a book.
In a book.
In a book.
In a book.
In a book.
In a book. I'm gonna take a trip today. Though I'm setting my sights far away, I'm not going anywhere. Just sitting in my chair, reading a book. I'm reading a book. Thank you guys for your help. That was great.
You are awesome.
So there's a little song I wrote just for you guys, and I remembered most of the words. Now I'm going to put the guitar down, and I'm going to read you my library mouse book. This is the third. Oh, you like that? Sounds like thunder. Okay. Library mouse. So the deal is, there was one library mouse who was a shy little guy who lived in the library, and he read and he read and he read, and he discovered after a while that he loved books so much, he thought maybe he'd try to write one of his own, and he wrote a book, and he stuck it in the shelves in the library and met all the other books that grown-ups and other people had made, and kids started to discover his books, and they thought, wow, who is this Sam who's making these books? And everybody wanted to meet him, but he was very, very shy. So that was the gist of the first book. His job was sort of to help kids learn that they could be authors too. The second book was about how Sam, as an author, worked with a kid who was an illustrator, and they made a book together. And this book is about the subject of research, because research is something that all kids have to do in school. And it's also a good little story, and I thought it would be fun in this book if I would introduce Sam to another character who's not like Sam at all, because Sam is very timid and shy and afraid to do things. But he meets a little mouse named Sarah, and she's not, so we're going to see if the pictures come up on the screen. Pictures there? What's on the screen? Can you tell me? Is it this picture? It should be this picture. Well, I guess I'm going to read and hope that they know what they're doing back there. Sam was a library mouse. He lived in a little hole in the wall behind the children's reference books, and every night he went looking for adventure between the covers of books. One evening, Sam went for a stroll. He smiled to see the class projects the children had made to place atop the library shelves. There was a poster on the wall that read, "Discover our great big world." It is a great big world, Sam said to himself. I love reading all about it. But then he sighed, gazing at the books on the very top shelves, which were just a little too high for Sam to climb. Suddenly, Sam saw something out of the corner of his eye. Swoosh! Another mouse landed gracefully on the floor right in front of him. Whoa, she said, that was some ride. Good thing I had my parachute. She stuck out her paw and smiled. Hi, my name's Sarah. What's yours? I'm Sam, he answered. I live here. I live here too, Sarah said, on the other side of the library. I was out exploring, and that's when I discovered that playground. Playground, said Sam. Up high on the shelves, Sarah explained. You could almost see the whole world. I just went on that giant slide. I didn't know I was going to fall so far, though. You climbed all the way up there? Sam asked. He had never dared go all the way to the top. Sure, Sarah said. I'm an explorer. All explorers climb. Sam shook his head. Well, that's not a slide. You just went down the side of a pyramid. A what? A pyramid, Sam said, like in ancient Egypt. Only children made this one. There are pictures of real pyramids in these books you knocked off the shelf. Wow, Sarah said. I didn't know there were books about stuff like this. Are there books about those other fun things I was climbing? You mean like the Statue of Liberty and the Eiffel Tower? Sam grinned. Follow me. We're going to do some research, Sam said. We'll start with Egypt. What's research? Sarah asked. It's how you find out about things, Sam said. If you can't go to the real pyramids, you can read about them right over here. Sam and Sarah pored over dozens of books, and Sarah oohed and ahed at the pictures. She gazed up at the tall shelves and said, research is fun. Let's climb up high and see what books are up there. Not tonight, Sam said, looking warily at the tall shelves. Maybe we could play down here. Well, then let's pretend we're pharaohs in ancient Egypt, Sarah replied. We can use these books for research on how to dress up. It was nearly daylight when Sam returned home. He picked up his pencil to write about what had happened. He had never met anyone like Sarah before. The next night, Sarah said, "There's a Jeep up there on the top shelf that's just our size, Sam." If you were looking at the book, you'd see it's just really a little orange Jeep right up on the top shelf. "Come on, we can pretend we're exploring and drive to the top of the tallest mountain." "Oh, I don't think you can drive to the top of the tallest mountain in a Jeep," Sam said. "Besides, we could pretend from down here." "You're not afraid, are you?" Sarah asked. "Of course not," Sam answered in a squeaky voice. Sarah saw that Sam was nervous. "We could always do a little research first," she said. "Good idea," said Sam. While looking at a book about mountain climbers, Sarah had another idea. "I'll be right back," she said, and she returned with some string and a paper clip. "I'll hook one end of the string up at the top," she said, "and then I'll drop the other end down for you to tie around your waist, and that way you won't have to worry about falling." "I'm not worried," Sam said as she started to climb, and soon it was his turn. He remembered he'd read that when climbing he should not look down, so he didn't. At the top of the shelf, Sam breathed a big sigh of relief. It hadn't been as scary as he thought it would be, and he and Sarah played and played until dawn. Back on the ground, Sarah said, "You know, I'll bet we could explore even more of the world if we rode on that airplane that's hanging over there." Sam looked up at the display the librarian had hung above the tallest shelves. "Oh, that doesn't really fly," he answered, "and we couldn't reach it anyway." "I know it can't fly," Sarah said, "but think of how much of the world we can see from up there. We can climb to the top of this bookshelf and then jump over to the airplane. It'll be easy." But Sarah would not take no for an answer. "Sam," she said, "tonight we are going to get into that airplane and we are going to see the world." Throughout the day, Sam was so nervous he could hardly sleep or read. He didn't want to let Sarah or himself down, but he didn't want to get into that airplane either. That night, Sarah led Sam to the top of the bookshelf. The airplane looked very far away. "We're explorers and good jumpers, too. We can do it," Sarah said. Sam clenched his teeth and crept to the edge. "Follow me," Sarah said, and then she jumped. Sam jumped too and climbed into the seat right behind Sarah. "We're off to see the world," she cried. But just at that moment, the little string that held up the airplane broke. "Woohoo!" Sarah hollered. "Ah!" screamed Sam. They sailed over the Eiffel Tower and the Great Wall of China, over the Statue of Liberty and the Great Pyramids. They sailed past volcanoes and mountaintops, past coral reefs and deserts, between dark rows of bookshelves, and right out the door of the children's room. The airplane bumped to a stop in the dark hallway. Sam leaped out of his seat. He didn't stop running until he was back in his little hole in the wall. "Sam," Sarah cried, "come back. Explorers don't run from danger." Sam hid behind his bed and would not come out. But later, when his heart stopped pounding, he went to his writing desk, picked up a pencil, and got to work on a new project. "Readers and writers are explorers too," he said. "Wow," Sarah said the next evening when she saw Sam's new book, Sam and Sarah See the World. "We're both a couple of explorers." "And we never even had to leave the library," said Sam. "We didn't have to leave the library," Sarah said with a twinkle in her eye. "But just think of the books you could write if you really got to see the world. What do you say we take a little research trip?" As they strolled through the library, Sam did not know what to say. He had never met a mouse like Sarah. And that is the end of this book, A World to Explore. And at the moment, I'm just putting the finishing touches on another Library Mouse book, which is called A Museum Adventure, where Sam and Sarah discovered there's an art museum pretty close to where they're living, and they go to check out the artworks that are there. And there's a lot of pictures that I kind of borrowed from the National Gallery to put in my book. So if you've been to the National Gallery and you check out this book in the spring, you'll see where I took a lot of those Impressionists, Monet and Van Gogh and people like that, and put them in my book. So I don't know how much time I have left. 3 minutes. Okay, is that enough time? You want to hear another song in 3 minutes? How about that? In this song, all you have to do is repeat some things I say, kind of like in the last one. This I'm going to put a capo on. Thank you all for staying late into the day like this. This is very impressive. It's been a great day. I've listened to a lot of other authors talk, and it's been really a lot of fun. In this song, there's a part where I go, and the bee says not me, and then you go, the bee says not me, and the ant says I can't. The ant says I can't. Can you do that? Let's try that. And the bee says not me, and the ant says I can't. And the cow says, how? Excellent. And later in the song, there's a part where I go with people's names. And I probably will remember that later if I'm lucky. But you'll hear it and you'll get the idea. Anyone can be an author, I tell you it's true. Even dogs and cats and elephants have a story or two. But animal authors, there are only just a few. Most think reading and writing is too hard to do. That's why the bee says, who, me? And the cow says, how? And the ant says, I can't. And the fish says, I wish. Sometimes it's hard to do something that you've never done, but if only you try, you might find writing is fun. There's a mouse who loves to read, to draw and to write. He makes his very own books night after night. He's as sharp as a fox and as gentle as a lamb. He's a library mouse and his name is Sam. Now if a mouse can be an author, then what about you? It seems to me a human being sure can do it too. So pick up your pencil and write what you know, and just like that you're ready to go. And soon Jill will say, I will. Brian will say, I'm trying. Dan will say, I can. Trey will say, hooray! Sometimes it's hard to do something that you've never done, but if only you try, you might find writing is fun. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.